Leadership during a Riverside County fire crisis. My name is Autumn Cole. My presentation focuses on fast-moving wildfires in Riverside County during the dry and windy condition. This crisis requires strong public leadership because it is effective. It affects residents, emergency responders, hospitals, transportation, utilities, schools, and nonprofit organizations. Crisis overview. This crisis is a major wildfire that spreads quickly through Riverside County. Because of high winds and dry conditions, residents are forced to evacuate with little warning. Public leaders must make fast decisions, protect lives, communicate clearly, and coordinate emergency services accordingly. Impact areas. For this scenario, I am focusing on one selected portion of the impacted area, a local community center that becomes an evacuation center. This is where one leader can emerge, such as a city emergency manager, nonprofit shelter director, or a public safety coordinator. Primarily impacted information. In total, approximately 25,000 to 50,000 residents could be impacted through evacuation, smoke exposure, school closures, power outages, and damaged homes. In this selected shelter area, around 300 to 800 evacuees may need food, water, medical support, temporary housing, and emotional support. The fire response may last several days, but recovery could continue for weeks or for months. Services and industries impacted. This wildfire would be impacting many services and industries. Fire and police departments would respond immediately. Hospitals may treat smoke inhalation or burn injuries. School may close or serve as shelter locations. Transportation may be disrupted by road closures. Utility companies may deal with power outages, and nonprofits may provide food, shelter, clothing, and emotional support. 4 time frames. The 4 time frames I selected are 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, and 3 months. At 3 minutes, the crisis is just beginning and immediate evacuation decisions must be made. At 3 hours, shelters are opening and emergency responders is beginning to get organized. At 3 days, resources are strained and leaders must coordinate long-term support. At 3 months, the focus shifts from recovery, rebuilding, and evaluating the responses. Public leadership context. For Chapter 1, I would apply the concept of public leadership. Public leaderships are responsible for serving the community, protecting public safety, and making decisions that affect large groups of people. At the 3-minute mark, leadership must be immediate because residents may only have a few minutes to evacuate safely and get out. The leaders must focus on public service, safety, and communication. Chapter 2, Directive Leadership. For Chapter 2, I would use directive leadership during the first few minutes of the wildfire. There's no time for long decisions or group decision making. Leaders must give clear direction, issue evacuation orders, close unsafe roads, and move people out of danger. This leadership style is necessary because of the situation and the urgency of the life-threatening. Transactional leadership. Incident command. For Chapter 3, I would apply transactional leadership and instructed command. At the 3-hour mark, emergency responders need clear roles, rules, and responsibilities. The incident command system helps organize firefighters, law enforcement, medical staff, and shelter workers. This structure helps prevent confusion during a fast-moving emergency. Chapter 4, Transformational Leadership. For Chapter 4, I would use transformational leadership. By the 3rd day mark, responders, volunteers, and evacuees may be exhausted. A transformational leader motivates people, gives them hope, and reminds them of the large purpose. This type of leadership is important because people need encouragement during long and stressful disasters. Chapter 5, Shared and Distributed Leadership. For Chapter 5, I would apply shared and distributed leadership. No single leader or agency can manage the entire wildfire response alone. By the third day mark, leadership must be shared between the fire department, police, city leaders, hospitals, utility companies, churches, nonprofit organizations. This allows different groups to use their strengths to serve the community. Chapter 6, Ethical Servant Leadership. For Chapter 6, I would apply ethical and servant leadership. During the wildfire, leaders must think about vulnerable populations, including elder residents, children, people with disabilities, low-income families, and people experiencing homelessness. Ethical leadership means making fair decisions and ensuring resources are distributed based on the needs, not status or convenience. Chapter 7, Influence and Public Trust. For Chapter 7, I would apply leadership through influence. During a wildfire, people are more likely to follow direction when they trust the leader and believe the information is accurate. Leaders must communicate clearly, avoid mixed messages, and influence the public to evacuate, avoid unsafe areas, and follow emergency instructions. Chapter 8, Competency-Based Leadership. For Chapter 8, I would apply competency-based leadership. At the 3rd month mark, the crisis has moved into recovery. Leaders need communication skills, emotional intelligence, planning, decision-making, collaboration, and accountability. These competencies help leaders rebuild trust, evaluate the work, and prepare the community for future emergencies. Conclusion. Overall, leadership changes as the wildfire crisis evolves. In the beginning, leaders must be direct and fast. As this crisis continues, leadership becomes more coordinated, ethical, and collaborative. By the recovery stage, leaders must focus on long-term healing, rebuilding, and learning from the crisis. Thank you for listening and watching my presentation.